What's up, y'all? Kyle Hamilton here. I want to give a quick shout out to Lucas, Connor, and Ryan in the Week 0 podcast.
Jackson rolling out, 3rd and 7 after the penalty, and it's a completion to Kuma. He's still running. Kuma breaks free against a tire defense as the Hokies deliver the dagger here in Tallahassee. Empty look for Richardson. Oh, that is danger! Oh my! Keidron Smith cuts inside, and he's gonna pick 6 it in the swamp. Cat scratch Fever Smith.
DJ is picked off, intercepted again by Benjamin Morrison. Here goes Morrison down the sideline. Can he go? Yes, he can. Touchdown, pick 6, Benjamin Morrison. Nix drops back underneath. Touchdown, Bucks. Wow. Chase Taylor.
Hello and welcome to the Week 0 podcast presented by W. Connor is muted once again, and we are live and ready for our review of Week 1.
No, I will tell you the weirdest thing just happened. You know how I say I'll sometimes see when I'm moving from time to time, and I'll randomly just see us instead of whatever's being shown on screen. I literally just saw us for 15 seconds, just the 4 of us just sitting there staring at the screen without the intro actually playing over. So I could hear the background, hear the sound, but I couldn't see it.
Dude, I'm on my laptop and I couldn't even hear the entire intro or the minute clock countdown. So I just heard Connor's background noise.
You guys have poverty.
I don't have any specs.
Absolutely. That's poverty specs.
It's probably Lucas. He has a fan going. Oh my God, we're already off the wall as usual.
I've had this fan running for the past 8 shows.
Yeah, I heard it.
This is the first time that you have said anything about it.
I don't even hear the fan, guys.
Exactly.
This is
all right.
This is the Week 0 podcast. We're back after doing our recap of the first week of college football. Where were you guys? You guys excited and happy that all of our teams have finally played, other than Ryan has played twice now.
Not quite yet. I'm not satisfied. I gotta see us whoop up on Texas State or Texas Tech. I don't know if we can beat Texas State.
Yeah, I don't think you'd beat Texas State. I don't think you do that.
I think we got a good chance. So I'm not satisfied yet.
Yeah, I'm kind of in the same boat as Lucas here. Even though Kentucky got the win, I feel like they were clunky. I feel like I didn't get to see the offense run on all cylinders. So that's something I'm looking forward to. Hopefully, this next weekend I'm going to be at the game. So we'll see.
Nice. So, but as usual, I'm your host Connor. Let's go Hokies. To my left is Ryan, live from Lexington, Fravel. So close, but so far from Josh. Below him is Josh LS Who Bryant. Took me a second to realize what you were going for. And of course, below us is Lucas Big Night asking the question: is TCU really worth $2.5 million in NIL money that Shedeur Sanders got for beating TCU?
Shit Dookie Sanders is how I like to call him.
No.
That's just mean.
That's mean.
That's just mean.
Hey, man.
So, I mean, we, of course, don't have any of the banners. Do we have any of the banners?
I have them ready. So let me pull it up.
You have them ready? Okay.
Yep. All right.
Ryan's been working day and night. You can tell by his eyes.
Yes, thank you. No, this is the first one we're going to do. We'll talk about the games, and then we'll do that. Has Colorado arrived? So we're going to do this for every big game that happens every week. But we're not going to talk about too much, but 5 minutes on the clock. I want to start with you, Josh. Has Colorado arrived, and did they impress you in their first outing against TCU?
Has Colorado arrived? What are you talking about? They're here, baby. They're here. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? I took down notes to everybody and said they weren't going to be here. I know who they are.
Okay, Walmart.
I'm not going to say it, but I know who they
What
are.
am I hearing?
You're not even Walmart,
First and
Deion. You're like
foremost.
Kmart. You're Bucky's, Deion.
Yeah, I'm Wish.com. Nowhere near the real deal. But Colorado whooped up on TCU. Already met their win total from last year. Colorado's got nowhere to go but up from here. And I was wrong about Colorado. I was wrong about Deion Sanders.
I'll go next because I know Lucas. Well, I don't know if Lucas has the most to say, but I'm sure he has some. I think unfortunately Deion and actually Texas State, which I'm not sure if we're going to talk about, have kind of shown the true power of the transfer portal. Because both of them did the same thing, brought in a huge amount of transfers and turned around the programs. Now, will it work for every program? Probably not. But I think Deion's just showing, obviously he's a Hall of Famer, and he's shown that how good of a football mind he actually is and has. And obviously it's like Josh said, it's only up from here, but we'll see what they can do going forward. Obviously they get Nebraska next. It's Nebraska. They're, the sorriest program in college football right now. Can't hold a lead, save their goddamn lives, or win any close games. So, but I think obviously that their true test for Colorado will be that Oregon game on the road. If they go into that, especially if they go into that 4-0, that'll be a really good test for them. And obviously Lucas can speak to that whenever we get to that game in a few weeks' time.
Yeah, I'm kind of in the same boat. Like I was one of those people, and I'm going to give a public apology here too because I gabbed a good one on the space. For Toast, I'm sure you're tuning in, my boy. I was wrong. I said Colorado was going to get absolutely steamrolled by TCU by 21 plus. That did not happen. Congratulations to Deion Sanders and Colorado for matching their record from last year. Still a lot of work to do, though. I'm not, Colorado fans saying, "Oh, they're going to win the Pac-12 now." College football playoff contender. Let's pump the brakes on that real quick because I still think that they're going to absolutely get quacked by the Ducks when they play. But yeah, I mean, overall, I think it was an impressive showing for Colorado. But like I said, TCU could be god awful for all we know.
Yeah, I'll go on. I think what Colorado did to TCU is what Michigan would have done to TCU last season if Morris was the quarterback for TCU.
Like if they didn't have Max Duggan.
Yes. Now I think if Max Duggan is in this game, and even though I do think last year TCU was frauds and they were the luckiest team in college football, maybe history, because I'm pretty sure they won like 14 one-score games or something like that last year.
Something like that, yeah.
Max Duggan would have made a huge difference in this game. I don't think that Morris is the guy for TCU. I think they're going to have to look in recruiting to find a guy to get them back to that college football playoff level. You saw that very easily. Now, Travis Hunter is the real deal, and I was skeptical about him. I'm not going to sit here and say that I was wrong about Deion Sanders because I don't feel that I was wrong about Deion Sanders yet. If he goes into Austin Stadium and beats the Ducks, get 12-0. Like, I'm serious. That's a ridiculous feat for Deion Sanders to go in there and do that. So if he does that, then congratulations to him. He can have all his flowers. The one guy that I know that I was wrong about, and I will say I was wrong about, was Travis Hunter, because I thought he was too small. I thought he had to, if he was going to be successful, he had to go to a Power 5 program with a very, very good weight room, and he was going to have to get bigger and stronger in order to be successful in college football and, the National Football League moving forward. He went out there, caught 11 footballs. Now could have caught way more, by the way. Dropped two.
But Lucas, those count.
touchdowns.
Those count for pass breakups because he plays corner too. So technically,
right.
He should get some DB.
There you go. But he had some plays that he definitely could have caught some touchdowns. Now they were really tough catches, but you get your hands on them, you gotta catch them. Anyways, 11 catches, 119 yards. I think he had just one touchdown. But he almost
had two because he almost had that one where he mossed the guy almost.
Yeah, he could have had two, maybe even three potentially. I think, and then on the defensive side, made one of the best interceptions I've seen in a long time. That guy didn't look like he was even close to being covered, and Travis Hunter made an absolute incredible play on that. So I gotta give him some flowers because I think Travis Hunter, I posted this on the Week 0 Twitter. I have Travis Hunter is number 8 right now in my Heisman voting. I think he moved all the way up there from being probably not even close to a top 10 Heisman to number 8 because of that performance. He's the only non-quarterback that I have in my top 10 through week 1. As far as like Shedeur Sanders, somebody that isn't getting talked about enough is Dylan Edwards.
Yep, former Notre Dame commit.
This kid is an absolute animal out there. He's an absolute animal out there. And
you know what's insane about that, Lucas? He was originally committed to Notre Dame.
Right.
He flipped to Colorado, I believe, a month before National Signing Day. But what's insane is that, if we're being honest, we probably wouldn't have even known who Dylan Edwards was this year just because of how deep Notre Dame's running back room is. So it's insane to think about that.
He's a receiver. He's a receiver, but
he's a running back. He plays running back. He would have played running back for Notre Dame at least, but
he plays receiver for Colorado. But I think I do agree. He probably wouldn't have gotten as much playing time. The reason why he got the playing time he did is because Deion Sanders has known this kid since he was like 4 years old. So there's that. What are
you looking at?
No, I'm looking at this most recent comment. But I'm this was the second thing that I was actually one of the things that I was going to get to about this Colorado team is they really, really impressed me in the trenches. Now, do I think TCU is even close to as heavy or as strong as a Stanford, Oregon, Washington? Definitely not Oregon State. No, not even close. They're not even close to those teams in the trenches. But they really impressed me because I'm sure TCU probably outweighed Colorado by like 150 pounds per defensive and offensive lineman. Like,
it was
easily.
It was so bad that Colorado on that run play had to put in a defensive lineman to be a fullback to block.
Exactly.
And
Colorado,
and then 95 blew up one of the defenders for that touchdown.
Yeah.
Really
Colorado showed that they have some dogs on the offensive line and the defensive line, and it was really, really impressive. I don't think that that's going to go throughout the season. I absolutely don't think so. I think, like I said, these other teams, Utah, Oregon State, Oregon, I think they're going to bully them. And they're not going to be able to keep up. But after what I saw, watch out for Colorado in the next couple of years. Is if Deion stays at least if he stays 3 to 4 years, in 3 to 4 years, Colorado is going to be legit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Absolutely. We'll end this on this comment. I thought this was a pretty, great summary. Basically, will Colorado go unbeaten? No. Will they beat the Ducks in SC? No. But will they be competitive and make their teams earn their victories unlike last year?
Yeah.
Most likely, yes. Could they be a bowl team? Maybe. That schedule is still pretty brutal. But yeah, moving on.
I think it's also just crazy. It's not even that. It's how the offense is been
Well, how much of that was also TCU's defense? That's where I'm kind of like, it's week
sure,
one.
and
I think we're picking in the weeds now, guys.
We definitely
Yeah,
were preparing for a Big 12 for their Big 12 matchup next year. These two teams.
Let's
But
anyway, let's move because we've been
Colorado
on this.
all of last year had 2 receivers with 100-yard receiving games.
Yeah, and then this week they had 4. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean,
All
it's ridiculous.
We're moving on.
So
We'll move
next
on.
up, North Carolina actually plays defense, guys. 9 sacks on Spencer Rattler and the Battle of the Carolinas, the directional Carolinas.
There you go. I'll start
Yes.
this one off because I ended the
Yeah, go
last
ahead.
one. 31 carries for -2 yards by South Carolina.
Holy shit!
Let that
I was not watching this
let
at all.
that sink in a bit. Now, obviously, sack yards play into that. So obviously, you know, the running backs had more than -2 yards, but let that sink in. 31 touches, -2 total off or rushing yards. I said this in my Quack 30. You have to have a run game in college football. If you don't, you are not going to win games. I promise you that. You are not going to win games. If you don't have some sort of a run game, you will not win games in college football. And South Carolina showed that because Drake May threw 2 interceptions and they still won by 14. That's all I have to say.
That's why I don't think I don't know if that's correct what you're saying, but maybe that's why most air raid quarterbacks don't do very well in the NFL because they want to throw so much, but they don't have a good run game to balance it out in the end.
Patrick Mahomes begs to differ.
Other than Mahomes.
I wanted to hit on this game because I thought this was pretty interesting. So I remember when we were all keying in on this game, like when we were doing the pick'ems last week, what were the key things we were saying? North Carolina, they don't have a defense, neither does South Carolina. It's going to be who stops who first. So it's still week one, but North Carolina has some dudes on that defensive line. Now, I'm kind of shocked because normally North Carolina doesn't believe in defense, but do you guys think that how North Carolina played defensively against South Carolina had more to do with South Carolina's terrible offensive line, or was it because North Carolina has improved that much on defense?
I think it's 6 in one hand, half dozen in the other. I think it's a little bit of both. On South Carolina's O-line, they lost a couple guys, had a little bit of turnover there. And honestly, it hurt them a lot in this game. Unless you're going against some absolute monster defensive line, a decent O-line is not going to give up 9 sacks in one game. I mean, that's a ridiculous stat. -2 rushing yards because of those 9 sacks. But still, that also means that South Carolina was not able to run the ball at all. And I think it just showed that without an offensive line, winning football games is near impossible for anybody, especially when you're playing against North Carolina and, they're going to put how many points did they have? They had at least 4 touchdowns, correct?
34,
34, 31, I think maybe. Yeah, 31 because I think they won
So
by
they're going to put some points on the board. So if you're unable to keep the ball away from them, sustain drives, anything like that, you're going to need a competent O-line to do that, and it doesn't look like South Carolina has one right now.
Connor?
I have more to say, but I want to let you. I don't want to hog everything, but I have a couple. I have a couple things.
I think the question, and I think it was Ryan. I remember you guys. I thank you for that. For all you guys taking South Carolina, I appreciate the free point there. But I remember, I think it was.
Get to my points.
It's hard to not pick an SEC team in week one. I'll just put it that way.
Well, it burned us real bad this time.
It did.
Who did Drake May have to throw to? And you were just like, what? I think it was Ryan who was wondering where the offense was going to come from. Now, I didn't watch the game, so I honestly don't know. I haven't really checked on the stats and stuff. I don't think it's indicative of how good UNC's defense actually is. It could just be more Yeah, I agree with Josh. It could just be a mix of both. Same thing with the TCU Colorado. I don't think it's TCU's truly that bad, or Colorado's really that good. I think it's a mix of both. And TCU has just lost a lot of players that really carried them, and so that's going to hurt them. Same thing with North Carolina. There's a lot of unknowns with their offense because it's really just Drake May and a bunch of guys that we don't really know much about.
All right.
Defense, I honestly don't know anyone on their team.
I mean, and how many games
Kobe
last year-
Pacor, one of the wide receivers, I totally forgot about him. He actually was one of the receivers that lit up the Ducks in the Holiday Bowl last year.
Yeah.
And he led the team with 7 catches, 66 yards, and a touchdown.
All right.
Kid's a monster, 6'5", 190.
Woo. A little stringy, but
So final thoughts on North Carolina.
I'm sure we're going to get into the other team next, but I'm now excited for UNC Duke if they play each other.
okay.
Right.
I think UNC.
No. Let's give our final thoughts because I have a couple things I want to say.
All right. I'm going to make this quick. I think UNC has very much improved defensively, and I think that will serve them well throughout the season. I think they're going to win some games that they probably wouldn't have won last year.
I agree. Going back to the offensive line thing on South Carolina, I think a lot of it came from undecisiveness from Spencer Rattler and being afraid to make the bad read. I think was a big thing from Spencer Rattler. When you don't have much of a receiving core like Spencer Rattler doesn't have, Xavier Leggett or Leggett or however you say his name had a really good game, 9 catches, 178. But he's not one of these college football studs, right? When you have a receiving core like that, you're undecisive at the quarterback position. You don't want to, make these mistakes. That's where your 9 sacks are going to come into. So I wouldn't so much blame it on the offensive line, and more so, I think Mac Brown knows how to recruit and he knows how to freaking coach. And I think the defensive line played like a Mac Brown defensive line.
We'll talk about the implications that in the ACC after we get through the next couple games. But speaking of the ACC, another ACC school that absolutely took another SEC school to the woodshed this weekend. The Seminoles of Florida State absolutely steamroll the Tigers of LSU. Now, thank you guys for the free point, by the way, because I was the only one that took Florida State.
No, I took Florida State.
Oh, you did?
Florida State.
Oh, yeah, you did. Yeah, me and Connor were the only ones that took Florida State.
Yeah,
Lucas.
I was buying into the hype.
That's all right, man. It was one of those things where I was like, I thought LSU was going to come out pissed off. I didn't realize I was one of the people that had FSU in the college football playoff. I am genuinely one of those people. I was then. I am obviously still now. But I didn't think they were that good. LSU's a good football team. They're a really good football club. But I didn't think that Florida State. No, I don't care about your bias, Ryan. LSU is a great football club. Florida State is like on another level. Those wide receivers that Jordan Travis has, it's like giving candy to a 2-year-old.
Coleman and Wilson.
I mean, yeah, you got Coleman, you got Wilson, you got freaking Jaheim Bell, Toy Fuller.
Travis, there were moments though. Travis looked like a freshman, just chucking it up there. You know what I mean?
Dude, it was unreal. And Johnny Wilson could have had 200 yards, but he dropped like 6. I think he dropped like 4 or 5 passes.
Yeah, got to clean that up.
It's got to clean. Yeah, I don't know.
I think it's okay. So we'll drop the pen. I think it's a little bit of Florida State is better than we thought they were going to be, but I think that LSU is also not as bad as they looked. You had some, boneheaded play calling decisions. And there was a point in time.
Coach Kelly.
if they just didn't try to go for it at the goal line and they just kicked the field goal, they would have been up by 6 at halftime. Not saying they would have won that game, but that's a different game if they're up by 6 at halftime. Just boneheaded decisions like that early on in the game really came back to bite the Tigers when it came to later minutes. And I just, Florida State looked really good. They came out with their A game, and LSU did not come out playing like they wanted to win. LSU came out and played like they expected to win.
To me, it looked out like, for me, when I first watched the first half, it was like LSU, it seemed like to me, came out to play. Like they were arguably the better team for the first half. They went into halftime with a lead. And then I don't know what happened at halftime, but it's almost like you looked at the LSU players' body language. That just looked
Florida
like a team that just
like,
absolutely. Did it look
mad.
like to you guys that LSU just they just quit?
Florida State, I think, just came out mad.
They just came out on fire.
That was a half that the first half, Florida State, I think they had way more penalty yards. It looked like they were really giving the game away. I think they were able to take that mentality and just be like, we are gonna steamroll them, just smack the crap out of these guys.
Well, when Brian Kelly says a couple days before the game, we're gonna go beat the heck out of Florida State, you don't give other teams bulletin board material, especially when you lost to that same team last year. Although I will say this, I picked Florida State because I've been the one on this show, the only one that's been screaming LSU is overrated since last year.
It's only because of Brian Kelly.
No, it's not. Brian Kelly.
Brian Kelly has part to do with it, but a lot of it was they lost to Florida State, and they didn't look good in that game. Like neither did Florida. Florida State looked in that game. That game was close because both teams were trying to lose that game.
Last year? Yeah.
Yeah, last year. And then, they got absolutely drug at home by Tennessee. They should have lost to a terrible Auburn team, but people don't remember that.
All right.
They should have lost at home to an Arkansas team that didn't have KJ Jefferson.
I agree, Phil. It's 100% BK.
Seriously though, LSU
I'll say
beat
this.
Arkansas. They beat Arkansas last year 13-7. If Arkansas has KJ Jefferson, they win that game.
Yeah, but here's the thing. What can Brian Kelly not do? Brian Kelly cannot win big games. This was a big game.
He beat Alabama. Couldn't do that at Notre Dame.
Hey,
something that I will ask for you three. And this is, for one, for whatever reason, had no idea that Jordan Travis has been in college football since 2018, which is insane.
Oh yeah, I have receipts, Lucas, and you calling him absolute dog doo-doo in the chat.
Because he used to be trash. It's the same way I see Kate Klubnik going, where he's trash now. I think he's going to be really good as a senior. Does this, for also to add, he looks like he's put on 50 pounds. Like he looks so much bigger than he used to.
You guys remember that game in 2021 where he came out week 1 against
scrawny little fucker?
And he looked so tiny.
Yeah, but what does this do? This is only one game, but what does this do for Jordan Travis's draft stock? Because I don't think they were talking about him being a first rounder or second rounder. I don't think they had him.
What are you talking about?
I don't think they had him being that high.
Excuse me?
Dude, Mel Kiper
they're talking about him being a Heisman, dude.
No, Josh, he's talking about NFL.
I'm talking about a draft pick.
The idea that he's in the Heisman talk, but he's not. Nobody's talking about him going in the first round. That's no. That's no.
That's what Mel Kiper said. Mel Kiper has Riley Leonard as this third best.
But that's what I'm asking is where do you think this puts him? Because I haven't seen one NFL analyst have Jordan Travis as being in the conversation as one of the better quarterbacks in this draft.
Well, I mean,
no, because that first half, there were some moments where there was 2 plays where he should have been picked. He literally chucked a soft throw as he was getting sacked into the middle of the field. Like that is an absolute no-no. I think.
Meanwhile, you saw Drake May throw 2 interceptions.
Well, one of them went straight through the receiver's hands for the
fair.
But I mean, there's still, I don't know. That's just a panic mistake for Travis to do that, and I think it's just he's not still the cleanest passer. Maybe that's what's holding him back. I don't know. I didn't watch the full game, I'll fully admit. So I only just remember seeing that towards the end of the first half. And those are the plays that stuck out to me for Travis. I know how good he is as a runner, and he can pass pretty well, but those are some plays that are just no-nos and would scare me if I was a
and he's 6'1".
So I got 2 questions. I wanted to ask, and then we'll move on to the final game on this list. For Florida State, obviously this is a big statement win for them. They're in the top 4 now. It seems like the ACC is theirs to win. But for LSU, how much do you guys think this affects their seasons? I mean, do you guys, especially them playing in the SEC, with how deep the SEC is and how good the SEC is, LSU most likely cannot afford one more loss, which is expect them to go undefeated the rest of the way is pretty much impossible. How do you guys think this affects LSU going forward?
I genuinely, you guys might disagree with me, but I genuinely think this doesn't hurt LSU at all, because I think they can lose to a Georgia team or an Alabama team and still win the SEC title and be in the college football playoff.
Even though a 2-loss team has never made it?
A 2-loss SEC champion would make the
I would not put it past them, or put it past them to do that.
But for Florida State, this game meant everything, because they can afford 1 loss on their record. They can't afford more than 1. So winning this game was massive for Florida State.
And now with Clemson being what it is, maybe
we'll talk about it.
I mean, we'll move. Is that the next topic?
No. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So we'll get to our next one.
Yeah.
Duke absolutely stuns Clemson. Duke is officially a football school, guys.
Yes. I saw this might be, I'm not sure if it's the ultimate Clemsoning yet, but I saw someone say this, and I couldn't agree with them more. They said Clemson's now in their mid 2000s Texas era, where they're not going to be, they're not going to be competitive anymore. Dabo, I think, is showing that he is what someone called a CEO coach.
What he's doing.
He's better at letting the coordinators run the offense and defense. But he was lucky because Vrabel and Elliott stayed there so long, and now that they're both gone, he's replaced them, and they just haven't made up for it, right?
Something that has been very obvious for me for Clemson, as far as Dabo Swinney, when they got Garrett Riley only took this job because now Dabo is grooming him to take over. That's the only reason why he took that job.
Yeah.
So now we're seeing it very, very quickly, even though Clemson's offense was dog water. We're seeing it happen a lot quicker, and we're seeing it happen in real time where Dabo, he's on that hot seat, and Garrett Riley is right there ready to take the throne.
And
I agree with that. And, a guy that I don't like too much, Paul Feinbaum, he made an interesting comment, and I think we've all seen it the last few seasons at Clemson, but we've kind of it's Dabo, it's Clemson. We'll give them the benefit of the doubt because they won 2 national titles. They beat Bama, they beat Georgia. They at one point they were what Georgia is right now. where it was like, oh, well, maybe this is the Clemson dynasty. This isn't Alabama dynasty anymore. Ever since they won the national title with Trevor Lawrence, it has seemed like, and Paul Feinbaum said this, cracks in the armor. Ever since that they lost Trevor Lawrence to the NFL, they lost the coaching staff from that team, and slowly but surely, those cracks now come to a head when you play a team like Duke on the road in the first game of the season, and those cracks are now massive holes that are just leaking.
Yeah, I think Clemson. Someone said that I saw this. I can't remember. I think I saw it on Reddit that someone said that the years that they were good, where they won the
They were
championships,
75-7 in the years they were good.
That was the exception to the rule of them being a good to being a great team.
After 2020,
they're not
after 2020 they were after 2020 they were 20. What was it? They were 21-7 since 2020, and they had lost 7 games in like the last 8 years or the 8 years prior. That is insane to me.
Well, I mean, and the last
their offense was just not good.
They've lost the last 3 of the last 4 of their games. I mean,
no, 4 of the last 5 if you count the bowl game against Tennessee.
4 of the last 7.
Oh, 4 of the last 7.
Yeah, 4 of the last 7. So the majority of the last 7 games, they've dropped. And I think those
games weren't close either. They were blowouts.
No, they weren't. They weren't.
Antoine's right. I think it's like I said. I think it's definitely the exception to the rule. Clemson is not an Alabama program that's going to be a true dynasty.
Josh, finish your point.
Oh, okay. My point is, they're not who they were years ago. I think it's kind of. I mean, I get why Dabo Swinney's on the hot seat. I think it's a little ridiculous because he's still winning 9 and 10 games a season, but they got a taste of that national championship, and they just
what is it, 12? Sorry to interrupt. 12 straight years or something like that they've won 10 games.
Yeah.
Which is ridiculous.
They have the second longest streak behind Alabama. Alabama's the only team that has a longer streak.
It's going to break this year, but yeah.
I think Clemson they're going to fall apart if Dabo doesn't change his thinking and move away from that, because that's what did Virginia Tech in, was they didn't move with the times, and that screwed him with Fuente.
What do you guys think is the issue? I mean, because I know Phil says that he's anti-NIL. I know that he took one player in the transfer portal this season, and he lost 12 guys from last year's roster went in the portal, and you replaced them with one. And why do you think? Because I've been asking myself this, because just a few years ago, Clemson was having top 3 recruiting classes every single year, up until 2020, 2021. Now it's just Clemson's lucky to even get a top 15 class. I think this year their class is outside the top 20. So what? Yeah, why are because I remember they used to get DeAndre Hopkins. They were getting Deshaun Watson.
That's another thing. They aren't recruiting they aren't getting those top tier wide receivers to make those weapons. It's
what's making these 5 and 4 stars not want to go and play at Clemson now?
Huh?
Well, do you want to know?
Yeah, I want to know.
Okay, their lackluster offense the last couple of years. I mean,
Tony Elliott.
Yeah. DJ Uiagalelei.
You could say they ruined DJ. They made him look like.
Well, I mean, what did he throw for at Oregon State this past weekend?
5 touchdowns.
Yeah, 5 touchdowns. Yeah, don't you think Clemson would have loved to have 5 touchdowns? Huh?
Hell, they would have taken
that guy off, huh? No, but here's the thing: if you could have a player, have that much success somewhere else in one off season, well, then obviously you're doing something wrong. It's like, if he could be successful at Oregon State, why couldn't he be successful at Clemson? And I think Lucas.
It's like I saw it. I watched DJ. I watched DJ drop 500 yards in his first road start at Notre Dame Stadium at night against the top 4 team. 500 yards,
when Lawrence had the concussion.
six touchdown passes, 500 yards passing. And I'm like, this dude is the next. He is going to absolutely win the Heisman next year when T-Law's gone. And then I think that was the year they lost their OC, and this new guy comes in, runs a completely different offense, and it's like I go from DJ throwing 500 yards, 5 touchdown passes against Notre Dame to he's lucky if he gets a touchdown. Like,
No, I think
like,
Elliott was still there. Elliott left 2 years ago, so I think he was. So I think he was.
what pisses me off the most is because I saw how good DJ Uiagalelei is firsthand. And it seemed like, because Dabo kind of gave him the Kelly Bryant treatment, just buying our time till we get the next T-Law or Deshaun Watson. It makes me so mad because Clemson fans the last 2 years, what was the one thing they bitched about? Oh, if we actually had a quarterback, we would have won a natty. DJ is trash. Everything's DJ's fault. Oh, we want to see Cade play. Like, Cade could be a great quarterback. He most likely will be because he was a 5-star coming out.
I don't
To
know.
say that,
I don't know.
I think Cade's going to be. I think he's going to be really good when he's a senior.
well, to say DJ is not better than Cade right now is just.
See, here's my thing about DJ, and this is I'll go in on DJ. I do think he's going to have a much better season. I do think he's going to have a much better season than he's ever had at Oregon State. But a big reason why, and it's the same reason why Bo Nix is better at Oregon. It's the same reason why Michael Penix is better at Washington. It's because these players came in, but the team didn't build around that player. Now, Auburn was trying to do everything they could to be like, oh, this is Bo Nix. Bo Nix is everything. And Bo Nix couldn't live up to that because they didn't give him players to do that. Same thing with Michael Penix at Indiana. He had one good year, same thing as Bo Nix, but they just couldn't get that going. Obviously, he had some injury issues, and that's why he ended up at Washington. But Washington was built to be good with whoever was at quarterback. Michael Penix just happened to have a cannon. It's the same thing with DJ. They didn't build Oregon State around DJ. They got all those offensive linemen, some of the best offensive linemen in the country right now, well before DJ was there. They have a kid named Damian Martinez. Week Zero Edits has a video about him. He is an absolute animal. Pac-12 Freshman of the Year last year. They're not building around DJ. They're building for DJ. And that's what Clemson didn't do. They tried to do the Trevor Lawrence thing where Trevor Lawrence, like whoever said it, he's a unicorn. He could do that. He could do all those things. He's like, a Peyton Manning, like this once-in-a-lifetime quarterback that could just do it all, do everything. DJ's not that guy. He's not. Not a lot of people.
I don't know, man. I think DJ.
But not a lot of people are. I think we've seen maybe 5 quarterbacks in the last 20 years that are that guy.
I want to give you guys a stat line here. Cade Klubnik has thrown for 4 touchdowns and 5 interceptions his entire career.
And guess where all 4 of his touchdowns came from? Or, well, 3 of them against North Carolina.
In the championship.
North Carolina had no defense.
Nope. 2 of them.
2 of them? Okay. So half of them came against North Carolina's defense.
Yeah.
But see, I'm in the different boat, Lucas. I think DJ, especially if he has a great outstanding year for Oregon State, if he can take Oregon State to where I think he can take them, I think it's very possible we could see Oregon State in the Pac-12 title. I think DJ is that kind of quarterback. The way he plays reminds me so much of, like, he's a bigger version of Deshaun Watson, and I just think he wasn't used correctly. And I think if DJ is given a right chance in the NFL, I think he could be a stud in the NFL.
Right.
Oh, I think he's going to be a good quarterback in the NFL because he has the size and he has the wherewithal and knowledge to be good in the league.
I just want I feel like everyone at ESPN, because I remember Herb Street and all those guys, all they did was dog on DJ.
But you have to understand, Ryan, the point that I was making is that Oregon State doesn't have to rely on DJ being good.
Yeah,
He has to be good enough.
Yeah.
And that's what helps DJ actually be incredibly good, is like we saw against San Jose State, because he doesn't have to be a world beater. He doesn't have to be all these things. Where at Clemson, they needed him to be that. And he just wasn't. And he couldn't be.
He wasn't. It almost reminds me of actually what happened to Louisville after Lamar Jackson left. After Lamar Jackson left, I mean, Bobby Petrino was so wrapped up in basing the offense off of Lamar Jackson.
Dude, he wanted Malik Cunningham to be Lamar Jackson.
And Malik Cunningham was not Lamar Jackson.
They did. Well, they didn't. The offense for Louisville wasn't exactly like what it was with the Ravens, where it was fully built around Lamar, because it was more of a true pro style.
No. So it wasn't built around him at all. It wasn't built around him at all. He carried it. He was the offense.
Mm-hmm.
But it was still a pro style offense. It wasn't like Baltimore where they were.
What do you mean?
I see what Connor's saying, but at Louisville, when Lamar was at Louisville, it wasn't like Baltimore's offense is now.
No. Lamar was breaking off 60, 70-yard runs, scrambles. Just down the field. Nobody could get him. He put people on skates.
We gotta
move on.
We do gotta move on.
We didn't talk about Duke. We did not talk about Duke. So we'll use our biggest takeaways for week 1. So let's talk about Duke. Let's talk about the Dukies.
I actually had a point about Duke that I wanted to bring up. Is this Duke team the ACC's Tennessee?
No.
Here's why I say this. Mike Elko in his first year as the Duke head coach went 9-3 last year, or maybe 9-4. I can't remember if they won their bowl game. But he went 9-4 last year as the Duke head coach. Now he's coming out here and he's winning games like this against Clemson. Are we going to see a year from Duke like we saw from Tennessee last season? Like, it reminds me a lot of Josh Heupel at Tennessee. I'm just saying, it reminds me a lot. Yeah. It has a lot of similarities.
It's similar, but it's different. Just in a way, like, I think that a big proponent of this, of Duke beating Clemson and Duke winning this game, I honestly think it was Clemson staking it up more than we think it is.
They got 2 field goals blocked and then fumbled twice.
4 trips to the red zone with nothing to show for it. Point is, I really think that Duke in itself, coaching is phenomenal to take Duke up to 9-4 and then now to beat Clemson in the opening game. Got to give them the credit. It's there. What a fantastic job. But how many penalties were there on Duke? How many times did they shoot themselves in the foot? You had
it should have been a shutout.
2 turnovers. It should have been a shutout. It absolutely should have been a shutout. You had a
the score should have been 34-0.
It could have been that, or it could have been score.
The other way. Yeah. Clemson could have easily have won that game.
Still should have had that first down. That was bullshit.
Not to defend
Clemson, because I'm
Are you talking about the dead ball penalty?
I don't know. That dead ball penalty was bullshit.
But overall, because nobody cares about Clemson right now. We spent 15 minutes talking about. We're talking about the Dukies. So I wanted to ask.
Calhoun tried to sell that game.
all the new Duke football fans.
He had the muff punt, and then he had to delay a game that forced.
I think what was going through his mind is just like, oh shit! All right, we got a real shot to beat Clemson. This is Duke.
I just remember
beating Clemson. But no, man. I look at this Duke team, and Notre Dame. because I think this kind of lessens how important that game against Clemson is, because I don't think it kind
You
of
got blocked
no
there.
not important, but like it wipes away the shine of that game because Clemson's not a top 10 team anymore. But I think on the other hand, it also adds another really solid opponent to Notre Dame's schedule that a lot of people didn't look at when they looked at Notre Dame's preseason. Like
Why are
Notre
we
Dame has
talking
to
about
play.
Notre Dame?
Yeah.
But no,
I
I'm
thought we were
just saying,
talking
like,
about Duke.
we are. I'm saying, so Notre Dame has to go play at Ohio State on
So
September
what does this
23rd.
mean? So what does this mean for Duke moving forward in their schedule?
So what I'm
Means they're going to
saying is
kick
that
Notre Dame's ass when Notre Dame comes to
no,
play them.
my point was that I'm legitimately scared to go play at Duke now. Because
Okay,
should
that still
be.
doesn't.
That's
You,
fair.
you should not be.
That's fair.
Duke.
However, I will say it takes the shine away from it because it is week 1, and that's a big thing. And I talked about this in our chat. I do not think preseason polls should exist. Everybody should be at 0. Everybody should be at no ranking week 1, and then week 2 before the next games is when they should make their actual rankings. I fully believe that.
My point being, after Duke beat Clemson, like, let's be realistic here. How many of you guys thought Duke had a legit shot to, maybe beat Notre Dame, or maybe
None.
beat Florida State, or
Not
maybe
at
beat
all.
Clemson?
Not at all.
Before this game, no.
I
Like,
don't even
that's
think
my
after
point.
this
Is like,
game.
I still
Duke.
wouldn't even give them a shot against Florida State.
Dude,
So,
that defense
how I
flew
look at it
around,
is-
man. That's going to be, mistakes. If you see it,
They
like,
couldn't
if we
stop a
look at
nosebleed.
who?
Did you not see the 50, 60-yard runs?
By
Yeah.
who?
Oh my God. Clemson was running all over them.
Yeah,
I mean,
Clemson.
kind of.
I mean,
Clemson averaged 6
they
yards
were
a
running
carry.
all over them.
But
I
anyway,
don't know,
Clemson
dude.
played
my
big boy
point-
football,
my-
moved the ball down the field with ease. If they didn't suck at kicking field goals and turn the ball over, fumble on the 1-yard
But-
line,
but my
we
point-
wouldn't be
That's
talking
football.
about it.
My point
This
was
is- I
just
know.
that as a Notre Dame fan, watching Duke really impressed me and shocked me. And like I said, Notre Dame plays Ohio State at home at night under the lights in a top 10 matchup, most likely.
We're gonna see it.
And then Duke has a bye week the week Notre Dame plays Ohio State. So
That's
they
always
get
how it
2
is.
weeks.
Teams
They
always
get
get bye
2
weeks before they
weeks.
play Notre Dame.
They get 2 weeks to prepare for Notre Dame.
Ryan, stop
And
being
it's
worried about it.
at
All
Duke.
right, we better move on.
We gotta
You
move
don't-
on.
I'm just saying, man, like Duke, last thing on Duke. Duke legitimately could win the ACC.
Yeah, see, there we go. Tuesday, week 1 overreactions. Here we go.
No, they
Perfect
can't.
roll
There you go,
into
right
it.
there. That's the first one. I still
Right
think
there. So smooth.
Okay, let's move on. Who cares? All right.
Tuesday
Week one
week
overreactions.
Tuesday week 1 overreactions, real quick.
I think
and
we've
then
Better
pretty
than
much
Bama.
we've pretty much already gone over this, like all the different overreactions that we have. I don't.
Oh, no.
actually,
So
Maybe-
what did we cover? We covered Colorado going undefeated. We got Duke
Duke's
winning the
be-
ACC. Anything
Duke
else?
wants Bama. Duke wants
Duke
Bama.
wants Bama.
Yeah, I think
how
we've
about
pretty
this?
much
South Carolina is not going to win any football games.
North Carolina has the best defense in the country.
North Carolina's got the
North
best
Carolina Duke
D-line in the
ACC
country.
championship.
There we go.
Yeah, Duke, North Carolina for the
Where's-
ACC championship.
Where's Florida State? We don't know.
Okay. Let's move on finally.
My
Stunners
team of the
and
week.
bummers.
No, we got the
Josh,
first
why
team of the
don't you
week.
go
Oh, wait, no.
Oh my gosh, you're throwing me in here first. Alrighty.
Runners and bummers.
Okay, stunner. I have John Rice Plumlee, quarterback for the UCF Knights. Dude had himself a pretty sweet game there. Beat the absolute crap out of Kent. Let's see, he went 22 for 30, 73.3% completions, 284 yards, 3 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Got to clean that up a little bit. But an overall rating of 171.7. Dude balled out, took care of business, and I think he's. Here's touching on that overreaction. No, I'm not going to say that. I think he had a solid performance this week, and I'm looking forward to see him play against Boise State. Now for my bummer, I gotta come all the way back up here. Oh goodness. All the way back up here. There we go. My bummer, the Clemson field goal unit. What are you doing?
Was
You
the
got
second
blocked
one blocked?
twice.
They were
Both of them were.
Or it was? I couldn't. They never showed a proper angle that showed the second one being blocked. I couldn't tell if it was a shank or just a terrible shank or a block.
Both of them were blocked.
Mhm.
Both of them.
And then they
gosh.
said right before halftime, they're like, maybe they're gonna trot him out for a 68-yard field goal attempt because he's made 70.
No, because he's been
like,
blocked
what?
at 30 yards.
when the Ravens are, if you're Justin Tucker and you're in a dome and you're like in Colorado,
Ryan.
maybe we lost Ryan.
That's okay.
Yeah,
I gotta do mine, and then I gotta
Go.
dip out.
He's
Okay.
gotta.
Go.
Okay, we'll finish strong.
Okay, so my stunner of the week, Kamani Vidal maybe, how you say his name?
That's your 90 plus points in
25
fantasy.
carries. Yeah, 25 carries, 248 yards. I'm pretty sure he probably leads college football in rushing for this week. 2 catches for 54 yards. Did not score a touchdown. I probably would have had 100 plus points out of him in fantasy if he had scored a touchdown, but he's the only reason why I was even close in fantasy. I think I still lost by like 75 points, but man, it was looking really, really bad before Kamani absolutely went crazy.
And Riley
Kamani Vidal plays against Kansas State this week, so it'll be interesting to see if he can repeat what he has done. My bummer of the week.
Oh, Ryan's back.
My bummer of the week is Ryan's fantasy quarterback, Frank Harris. Did not look very good in a non-Will Stein offense. Will Stein scored 81 points on offense this week for the Ducks. His former team scored 14 and lost. Frank Harris went 18 for 36, 209 yards, 1 touchdown, had 3 interceptions, 9 carries for 45 yards. Not a very characteristic game for Frank Harris. And with that being said, boys, I am going to peace out. Got to do some dad stuff.
All right, go be a father.
Wait, hold on real quick. Breaking news. Christian Wood to the Lakers.
Yeah, nobody cares about the Lakers.
Yes, let's go.
I don't know.
And I will see you guys on Thursday night.
All right.
Absolutely.
See you,
See you
man.
then, Lucas.
Peace
Peace
out.
out.
Good night, Tennessee. Oh, shit.
I sent the link to Phil, so if he wants to hop in,
Phil, you come on in. Okay.
yeah, come on in, buddy.
I guess I'll go next. Mine is Shedeur Sanders, quarterback for Colorado.
Stole mine.
47 for a school record 510 yards, over nearly 11 yards per completion, for 4 touchdowns. Like we said before, there was 4 receivers with over 100 yards receiving, so he was spreading it around. 2 of those guys had 11 catches for over 100 yards, which shows he was not just focusing on one guy. He was showing that he can operate the offense and take what the defense gives him. The long 75-yard touchdown to Edwards showed that he knew what to do when a defender comes free, unblocked in his face on his blind side, and he just dumped it right off to Edwards, who just took it up the sideline for a touchdown. I think Sanders is going to be, as we get Phil in here. Why weren't you here the whole time, Phil? Bruh. So
I was here.
You're here.
He
You
was
were
in the
here in
comments.
spirit for most of it. And Phil, I've started playing Starfield. I'm not that far. I'm only about an hour in.
You start playing?
I'm not even an hour in. I'm literally at the
I didn't get the early access. I gotta wait another hour.
Oh man.
Oh, I got
That's tough.
Yeah,
All right.
You're bummer, Connor.
You're a bummer. All right. Anyway, let me get my stunners and bummers, Connor, so we can move on.
My
Oh,
bummer
well, Connor
is
didn't do
the
it.
team that Virginia Tech is playing this week, Purdue's short yardage game. I saw right before they turned it over on downs inside the red zone, like at the goal line. that up to that point they had 5 attempts on 1 or 2 when going for it with 1 or 2 yards to go for a first down or a touchdown. They didn't get it. And there was 2 more that they failed after that. So they had 7 attempts where they couldn't get the short yardage for a first down or a touchdown. So that really hurt them in only a 4-point loss. So I don't know if Virginia Tech's defense can actually get something going and stop them. Maybe they can get a push and stop Purdue short yardage game.
Thank you for the point, Connor.
So my stunners and bummers. My stunner is going to be North Carolina's defense. I know it was against the poorest South Carolina offensive line, but I mean, if we remember correctly, North Carolina's defense is the same defense that gave up 56 points to App State last year. So yeah, give me them for my stunner, and then bummer is going to be Cade Klubnik, mainly because Clemson fans hyped him up all offseason as like the next Trevor Lawrence. And that was not the case. So yeah, give me bummer for Cade Klubnik. And let's move on.
Phil, do you have any just joining us, do you have anyone that you would suggest?
Of course. My stunner is going to be JJ McCarthy. He threw 3 touchdown passes, 289 yards. Completed 87% of his passes. He looked like the reincarnate of Joe Montana out there.
Don't you dare disrespect the great Joe Montana like that.
Did you see the shoulder shimmy to get the corner to bite up on the flat route, and then he layered it over to Roman Wilson.
Well, according to Ohio State fans, it wasn't impressive because you guys only dropped 30 on ECU.
Ohio State fans.
Ohio State fans talking shit.
They should not be saying anything.
23.
Wait, who's better? Like, if I ask you guys who was better, is East Carolina or Indiana better?
I think Indiana would beat East Carolina, but it wouldn't be. It would be a game.
6-3.
6-3.
No. We'd have another moon on our hands, Phil.
Offense brought to you by Iowa.
Actually, real quick, I want to give a honorable mention stunner to Iowa's offense for scoring an opening drive touchdown for the first time since 1991.
That's insane. No, hold on. Let just because I need to get the specifics of this stat. Was that just like the opening drive?
Drive of a game? Yes, the opening
drive of the season.
Yes.
No, it was the first opening drive passing touchdown that Iowa has had since 1991.
Of like the first game.
Yeah.
No, of any game.
What? No way.
Wow. Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
That's the most pathetic stat
Hold on.
ever
You said
heard.
91?
Since 1991.
That's a pretty bad stat.
Okay. All right.
I wasn't even born then.
Since like last time Duke beat Clemson when Clemson was ranked in the top 10 was 1989.
I thought I saw it was also I heard someone say I think it was the first time Duke had beaten Clemson.
Dude, you know what's crazy? Cade McNamara is out here revolutionizing Iowa offense.
I swear I heard something that was like this was something with Duke being Clemson for the first time since 1936.
Hey, I'm still.
That's also an insane stat.
No, yeah. Okay. I can't. Good Lord, I can't remember. I mean, honestly, it doesn't matter how good Iowa's offense is. I'm still gonna take the under for the Iowa State game.
So disrespectful.
Did you hear Trump's gonna be at the game?
No, dude, that's free money. That is not disrespect.
I did not hear he's gonna be at the game. It makes sense for him to be at the game in Iowa, though. Iowa seems like a pretty safe place for Trump to be at the game.
Yeah, they'll probably get a chant going. Who knows?
Dude, I don't know, man. I don't know if you watched that game against Utah State. Iowa struggled offensively against Utah State.
Okay.
Well, apparently
Iowa struggles offensively, period.
I don't know. We'll see.
Hey, you know what's crazy though? Cade McNamara scored 24 points in his first game with the Hawkeyes. Guess how long it took Iowa to get to 24 points last year?
What, 3 games?
4 games.
4 games.
You know. Did you know that there's a Twitter Twitter group or not Twitter group, but that will be posting each week the number of points Iowa scores on offense because they have to get for Brian Kirk's
they gotta average like 20, right?
To score 325 points.
Yeah.
Total this season, apparently, for him to get an extension as part of his in his contract. So
Oh,
they're gonna
wow.
post.
I mean,
I mean, like there's like a mountain. There's like a
That's
graphic
incentive.
of like him climbing up a mountain. They're gonna keep.
Wait, Connor,
that's hilarious.
let's do a surprise team and the meme team. We're already over an hour. Let's just get this.
Let's get 6
Surprise team, I
viewers
think
though
we
they're
said-
hanging in.
Did we say Colorado? I think we had agreed on Colorado.
No, we didn't agree on Colorado. This was I think Florida State actually.
Even though Colorado was
I swore I thought it was either Colorado.
It was either Florida State, Colorado, or Florida State, Colorado, or Duke.
Antoine joining in.
No, wait. How is Florida State the surprise team when you picked Florida State to win?
Because these guys, besides Connor,
Boo.
I didn't say Florida State. I picked
Boo.
Florida State to win,
Nobody
but I
did
didn't
that.
say them.
That's what I'm saying.
Nobody
So
did that.
it should
It
be
was
a team
Colorado.
that nobody
None of us
picked to win.
Colorado.
how about Texas State?
Texas State is actually a good one.
I'll give
Let's
you
do.
Texas State.
We'll cheers to that.
Texas State Wildcats?
Yeah, we already
Yeah.
talked about Colorado.
Wait, never mind. They're the Bobcats. My bad.
Bobcats. Yeah.
They are wild enough to be Wildcats.
Hey, it's okay. It's okay. I was educated that they're in the Sun Belt.
They are in the Sun Belt.
According to Baylor,
Ohio State got
they're in the
outscored by
Stun
Iowa.
Belt.
Is that what Baylor said coming in, like on their coming in or something?
No, sir, because Baylor got stunned.
Baylor got drugged by Texas State.
Damn
What's
it.
the score? The score ended up closer than
No,
than
it was
the game ever
37-21 Texas State.
Yeah,
It ended up
that's
being like
closer than the
44,
game actually
21,
was.
41.
All right, so let's get to the meme team of the week. Connor or Josh, if you guys can pull up the memes that Josh made, we need to see
Oh
them.
yeah, go ahead,
Josh,
Connor.
do you have those? I think Josh.
Oh, I
has that.
can't. I can do them. Yeah. Let me
Would it be on Twitter? We just show them.
get up to it. Yeah,
Ryan, I
let's
sent you
do
my
the
pickle.
Twitter.
Oh, you did? All right, I got you.
Pick'ems,
Pick'ems is Thursday,
Ooh.
dude.
We got to
Okay,
pick up
so-
Thursday. So
So we have our meme team of the week is the Clemson Tigers, with a honorable mention,
Baylor.
Baylor. So let me go on and
Lucas went full Donald Trump in the chat, saying it was fake news that Baylor wasn't the meme team of the week.
All right, let me get it.
Someone said that. What? Where? I don't see it.
There it is.
Whoop, there it is.
Wow.
All right, am I up?
Yeah.
Yes,
Oh,
there we
there
go. There's that Baylor meme. I made some other stuff.
You know what's sad?
What you should have done is you should have Texas State be one of those.
Oh well.
Dude,
Right.
you know
This
what's
is
sad?
this is the
Dude.
ACC meme.
Guys, Baylor is Baylor actually the worst team in the state of Texas?
Yes. No. Texas Tech might own that.
No, no, man.
Texas Tech lost to a
An FCS program, right,
FCS?
Josh?
Yeah, 6 or 7 games last year, so they're not that bad.
They're terrible.
Yeah.
They're just
my favorite one.
They're just like thanks, dude, for the free ACC championship.
Oh yeah.
So
Yeah. Yeah, we got some good one. There it is.
Worst loss of the season so far.
So far.
no, you should. It could have been like this is the worst loss of my life. Worst loss of your season. Of your
Wait,
life
do the
so
milk
far.
carton. We need the milk carton.
Oh, we
No,
have
there's
another
another
milk
one.
carton.
He's
We have a
going
better
to
milk carton. Yeah.
This is worthless.
This is worthless. And then,
And then,
I got the obligatory Will
I
Smith.
got that.
Keep Coach K's name out your mouth.
Yeah, there it is.
There it is, guys.
Missing Clemson
So if you
offense.
see Clemson's offense anywhere,
You know what you should have put on there, Josh? You know what you should have put on there, like on the side, like a little picture of DJU's head.
Oh, yeah. That wraps up our memes.
Oh my god.
Oh man. All right, Connor.
Dabo Sweeney, also known as Soybean Wind. So did you see the tweet I shared of that?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my god, I love John Oliver. I'm so glad he posted. That's from like 8 years ago, from like his first year of that show that he did. And he was like, Dabo Sweeney means soybean wind as well, an anagram for soybean wind. So, but anyway, this has been the Week 0 podcast. We'll
be back Thursday.
We will be back Thursday.
We'll be back on Thursday for our pick'ems, and we'll also do our own AP poll. We actually didn't react to the AP poll, but there's not enough time because we were talking way too damn long.
No, we're doing that. We're going to be doing the AP poll reaction on the Thursday streams. In our own AP poll, yeah.
Yeah,
gotcha.
That's yeah.
So we got a action-packed Thursday. Phil, thank you for coming in and filling in for Lucas once he left.
No, man, I love these 5 minutes I get to talk to you guys. It's beautiful.
You were here, Phil. I feel like we should just add you as a fifth guy.
We need to just add Phil as a fifth guy.
Yeah.
Maybe you and
You
Josh
guys come on here way too. Let me be honest with you. I can't commit to this every Tuesday and Thursday.
It shouldn't be this long.
I gotta be at work at 6 a.m. tomorrow, but I'm about to play Starfield.
I have to wake up.
I think I'm calling off
by 9:30.
Think you're calling off? All right.
Okay, this has been the Week 0 podcast. Oh, Josh,
what's up?
W.
We need a W sponsor.
We did that.
No, we didn't.
Well,
we
Lucas
did
kind
at
of
the
said
very
it.
beginning. Lucas kind of said it.
Okay, no. Hold on. Just read the code.
All right. Guys, if you are feeling like you don't have any wind in your sails, feel like you don't quite have the energy that you should, go on and give W a try. W's powdered energy is sugar-free. It tastes great. Yada, yada, yada. You go to w.gg. That's our website. You can order it off of there. Use code Week0. Check out for 10% off.
So that is the Week 0 podcast. We are finally over 200 subscribers. Big milestone for us. Even though it's such a small number, it's very important that we got to that number finally.
Hell yeah.
Hey, you know what?
Yeah,
every year,
300.
We're going to be at 200,000.
Every year, guys, listen to this real quick. This time last year, guess how many subs we had?
62.
60.
Nope, 36.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
So we're doing well.
There you go. Big
Doing
old
well.
gain that we got. We'll take that.
Moving up in the world, boys.
Yep. So, yeah, we'll be back on Thursday for AP poll and a bunch of other stuff. Until then, this has been Week 0 podcast. Make sure